So, coming from The Guardian, world's first wind powered underwater data center starts operating in China. Well, thank golly, thank golly, thank golly. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit better right now. You know, China keeps stealing all of our American ideas, our good, patriotic, Christian ideas. You know, the China man just keeps coming in and stealing all of them. Well, thankfully, the silver lining to this particular cloud is apparently they're stealing our dumbass ideas too. So hey, look at that! Look at that! China people are people too. They do dumb shit just like we do, and then plaster it, you know, on the newspapers or whatever and pretend like it's a cool idea. So basically, China is now building underwater data centers. Oh my golly, what are we gonna do now? Even though, you know, we actually did that like 8 years ago and realized it was a bad idea. But don't focus on that. Don't focus on the fact that we already did it and realized it's not a good idea. Focus on the fact that China is doing it. So there's this idea with these underwater data centers. With basically, right, one of the big costs for these data centers is basically cooling these data centers, right? You have GPUs, you have servers that are incredibly hot. You need air conditioning systems, cooling systems, and so there's a tremendous amount of power that goes into literally cooling these data centers. I think it's like 40% of the power for a data center is literally just cooling the damn thing. So the concept is, hey, what if you put it in the ocean, right? If you put the data center in the ocean, then you can simply use the ocean to cool the data center. And the curious thing is that Microsoft actually did this a number of years ago. And what they found out is it's kind of sort of a pain in the ass at the end of the day. Curiously enough, the real value proposition that they found, and I crap you not, I actually read the white paper on this years ago. The value proposition they found by putting the data centers underwater is that geeks didn't touch the equipment. No, this is actually true. This is one of those moments you're like, oh, fuck. So basically what they found is when they put the data centers under the water, right? You get the cooling benefits, you get some of the electrical benefits. It doesn't mitigate things the way that you think it will. But one of the things that they found is that the uptime for the equipment in the data center was actually significantly higher than the uptime for equipment basically in the land-based data center. So essentially with these underwater data centers, at least with Microsoft, what they would do is they would seal everything up. So they put all the servers and everything basically into this circular tube. They'd screw everything together and they throw that under the water. So during its life expectancy, there wasn't a way to do maintenance on equipment. So what they would do, their idea was simply when hardware started failing, there would be a process simply to automatically turn it off. So think about just like how you get bad sectors on a hard drive and they get marked on the hard drive not to use those, but the hard drive keeps working. And think about that as a data center, right? So one of your servers starts having, you know, significant issues, it just gets powered off. The rest of the cluster keeps doing what it's doing. And the idea is you build in enough excess capacity that hopefully during, let's say, a 5-year time period, as servers slowly get turned off, you still get the performance from the rest of the cluster. What they found out, though, is that the most of the equipment actually stayed up and was much more reliable than they were expecting. And what they decided it came down to is they didn't have geeks fucking with things, right? Because think about it, and this is a big thing to be thinking about. Like if you've ever actually been in a data center, right? It is a real pain in the ass to pull servers out of the rack, right? That whole thing, you know, as people do, and I make cables here. Oh, you know how you trace a cable like 20 goddamn times before you actually pull it out, and then you still pull out the wrong damn cable, right? You've done that before, right? Well, that's one of the things, right? So let's say in a normal data center, you think it would be good because, hey, look, we can have technicians come in and replace equipment as it fails. Obviously, that's a good thing. But what you find as people are moving through the data center, again, you pull a server out of the rack, basically so that you can swap it out. But then as you pull it out, the cable management in the back kind of like, gets held up on something, and then it pulls a cable, that's not supposed to get pulled. Somebody hits the switch on the power supply or whatever for the entire rack. There's all this kind of stuff. And basically what Microsoft found is is by not allowing technology professionals to touch the hardware, they actually got better usage out of particular hardware. But otherwise, once you get past that, a lot of the stuff just became a pain in the ass, because you literally now have a data center that's in the middle of the ocean. So you got to package all this stuff up. You got to actually take it out. You got to put it in the middle of the ocean. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it that essentially can get mitigated with other different ways for cooling of the data center and that type of thing. The other thing you have to think about too is as you start scaling out these data centers, one of the things to realize is you do still have to circulate water. You still have to circulate some kind of cooling fluid or some kind of cooling something or other in order to cool all the equipment. So just because like the tube is in water, right? So the skin of the tube is cold because it's in the cold water. But remember, you've got really hot server racks in there, and you've got servers in the middle of the rack, right? Or I guess it would be on the top of the rack would be the hottest, right? So let's say you got 40 servers in a server rack, and they're all going at 100%. The heat goes up. And so one of the things you have to think about, again, is like circulating. That requires power and all kinds of stuff too. And so you get in this mess and you realize sinking data centers into the bottom of the ocean isn't actually as good an idea as you think it would. There's another concern with environmental issues. So once you do sink these things into the ocean, they are going to get hot. They are going to get warm. So I've talked about that before with the data center that they're going to try to build in Utah. There's this whole disaster with Kevin O'Leary right now. Anyways, the data center that they were thinking about building in Utah, that they may or may not, that's going to be twice the size of Manhattan, because that's how we do it in the United States, right? In the area, it would actually increase the temperature in the area at night by 10 degrees. Think about that. In the air, the data centers, we talk about heat island effect, literally would increase the temperature in the area by 10 degrees. So one of the things to think about is you take this server room in a data center, you plunge it into the ocean, right? It's using the water temperature to cool the data center, but then it's also going to start heating up all of the water around it. And then you're going to get things like algae blooms. You have to worry about fish moving in and out of the air. There's all kinds of stuff that goes along with it. So anyways, this is kind of a vaguely interesting thing. It's like, wow, China's doing stupid shit too. It's nice, isn't it? It puts a smile on my face. Like, yay! It's not so often that you see China do completely dumb crap and be proud of it. It's nice to see it every once in a while. Anyways, if we take a look at it, the big thing though is that this is going to be wind powered. It's going to be a wind powered underwater data center. The world's first wind-powered underwater data center has started operating off the coast of Shanghai as China presses forward with solutions for energy challenges created by the country's AI boom. The Shanghai Lingang Undersea Data Center demonstration project, which launched in May, has a capacity for 24 megawatts, located more than 6 miles off the coast of Shanghai. And this is the thing you could be thinking about too. Like with all this shit, whether they're talking about putting fucking AI data centers in space, or they're talking about putting AI data centers at the bottom of the ocean, you're just like, Jesus Christ. Or you could just build a building. You know what's kind of cool about building stuff on land? I have a video. I don't know when it's going to get published because like one of the many videos I've done. Like Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is literally building data centers out of tents. There are these tent buildings. He has literally built something like 600,000 square feet of data center in tents in like Indiana or something. And you can do that type of thing when you just build the damn thing on land. But anyways. So located more than 6 miles off the coast of Shanghai. And when I laugh about this, just fuck me. Just think about managing that equipment. Think about when your data center is 6 miles off the coast. Oh, Lordy. The data center is submerged 10 meters below the surface, so about 30 feet below the surface of the water, and is powered by a nearby offshore wind farm. According to the Chinese government, the data center reduces power consumption by more than 1/5 compared with land-based data centers. Which actually, I don't know. Is that good? It's like, ooh, 1/5. But again, so you have to build a data center that you have to submerge. Then you have to drag the fucking data center 6 miles off the coast. Then you have to submerge the data center. You've got to do all of that, and you're getting a 1/5 energy consumption improvement. I mean, it is something, to be clear, it is something. I don't know. Is that worth it? That is because, as well as being powered by renewable energy, its overall energy demands are less because the natural cooling effect that comes from being submerged in the seawater. I mean, yeah, I guess sort of. I mean, like this. Look, Mark Zuckerberg is building his data centers in tents. And then you got this. I mean, this is cool. Don't get me wrong. From a technical standpoint, from an engineering standpoint, this is fucking awesome. But I mean, that's a lot of stuff. That's just a lot of stuff right there. In a traditional land-based data center, anywhere between 25% and 40% of total electricity demands come from the need to pipe chilled water around servers to prevent them from overheating. Again, even if you're putting this thing underwater, the skin of the thing is going to be cold. You're still going to have to circulate some kind of fluid through there to cool all the equipment. HiCloud launched the world's first commercial underwater data center in Hainan, a tropical island in southern China, in 2023, but the Shanghai launch is the first project to be powered by offshore wind. China was not the first country to experiment with building data centers underwater to make them more efficient. In 2018, Microsoft launched a pilot in the waters around Orkney in Scotland. 2 years later, the company reported promising results, but progress has since stalled because they realized it just wasn't a great idea. Quote, Microsoft was earlier in proving the concept while China moved further on commercial deployment because it was able to bring together market demand, industrial capability, marine engineering, and policy support more quickly into a commercial project, said Dr. Haijiang Dong of Hong Kong Polytechnic Institute. So yeah, they were able to bring all of this stuff together in order to actually build out the data center. Whether or not this makes a hell of a lot of sense, the answer is no. The answer is no. I am not actually a Chinese shill. I am not the one to come here every day and say, China is amazing. They do a lot of great stuff. I mean, to be honest, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. I mean, they're pretty cool most of the time. I gotta be honest with you. But sometimes they do dumb crap too. So it'll be curious to see where this goes in the future, right? Is this just going to be kind of a one-off experiment? Are they going to try to push more of this? It would be interesting on the whole geopolitical front, because remember, right, we talk about technology and politics and all that come together, right? They have this whole 9-line thing. I'm not going to explain it. I don't think they can explain it. Anyways, there's this thing called the 9-line in the South China Sea. They're trying to prove their ownership over a whole bunch of land in the South China Sea, and so they've been doing things like building islands and putting military bases on the islands and doing a whole bunch of stuff with that. One of the interesting things with this that could be interesting is basically the idea of what if they start building things like submerged data centers to prove their ownership of maritime area, right? So many times when we think about ownership of maritime area, right, it's for oil exploration or mineral rights or fishing rights or that type of thing. What if they just start plopping down data centers in the South China Sea to say we own this? Like that could be an interesting thing. And again, it might be a bit of a twist on whatever the hell it is that they're doing. So anyways, I don't know. We'll see how far this goes. From a technical standpoint, I mean, it's cool. Look, it is cool. From a business standpoint, it doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. It's called Wyoming. It's called Wyoming. I'm sure China has their version of Wyoming. Just use that. For the love of God, just use that. We don't need to put it into space. We don't need to put it under the sea. We can put it in Wyoming, in tents. I'm tired. I've said that in this video today. Parasocial daddy's tired. I ran 15 miles this morning. Anyways, I looked at the news feed. I was like, oh my golly. Looking at this news feed makes me more tired than running 15 miles. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about China putting data centers under the sea, 6 miles out, 30 feet under the water? Oh, Lordy. Is there one person who supported technology who's like, wow, that sounds like a great idea? Oh, you know what would make my job easier supporting these servers? Yeah, put it 6 miles out to sea and 30 feet under the water. Yeah, that's just, yeah, my life is gonna be great after you do that. I don't know. What do you think about the fact that Microsoft actually found the real benefit of putting their servers underwater is that we don't touch the things, ergo we don't break shit. I don't know. Put them down below. As always, if you like these episodes and you want them on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, there's a link down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, I'm going to go play some video games now. I think I did 4 videos. I did my 4 videos for the day. I'm going to go play my new Soros. I don't know, it's this game. You die, and then you wake up again, and you go down a different route, and then you die, and you wake up again, you go down a different route. I have no idea what this game is. I'm just like sitting there playing it. I'm like, hey, I get to kill crap. And some little black girl, I don't have to go on like a 1 hour adventure with a black girl as we pick fruit. Oh Lord. Have you seen that with the new video, the new God of War? Talk about that with the last God of War. I did not beat the last God of War. I just got tired of the God of War. Right? You get this nice little black girl, and then, I wonder what we're gonna do with this nice little black girl. It's like, pick fruit. I did not buy the game God of War so I could pick fruit with a nice little black girl. Anyways, there's a new God of War coming out, and apparently it's going to be about the mother. So I don't know, maybe you get to pick fruit with the mother. Anyway, I'm just kind of tired at this point in time. See y'all later.